heated house felt rotten to the core. A velvet cage built on a desperate lie. I need the beating weather to restore, and kiss the suffocation to restore, and kiss the suffocation all goodbye. I hear the heavy thunder and the roar. The stinging rain is falling from on high. I stand and breathe much deeper than before. I do not need a savior anymore. This gritty, bitter weather lets me fly. The freezing puddles gather on the floor. The bitter wind is leaving nothing dry. You swore that I would crumble in the war. You thought this broken woman would comply, but I embraced the muddy boots I wore, and find a savage strength you can't deny, and find a savage strength you can't deny. I hear the heavy thunder and the roar. The stinging rain is falling from on high. I stand and breathe much deeper than before. I do not need a savior anymore. This gritty, bitter weather lets me fly. I welcome every drop and beg for more. I watch the weaker people turn and try to find a scrap of shelter to explore. I look into the darkness asking why. I stand and let the bleeding heavens pour, and watch the final dying embers die. The rhythm of the water settles score. I feel my steady heartbeat start to soar. Yeah, and no, I do not leave the open sore, and no, on my own spirit I rely. I wrap the fabric tight around the stone and spit the bitter copper on the floor. They think they'll hear the breaking of a bone, but I am not the girl I was before. I step into the ring completely thrown, but listen to the vicious crowd's uproar. I thought my battle's broken and alone, and now I'm marching straight into the war. The seeds of my defiance have been grown, stepping up to settle up the score. I'm claiming every corner as my own and kicking down the heavy iron door. You tell me I should forfeit every right and let the heavy pavement keep me down, but I will bring the thunder to the fight. You cannot strip my honor and renown. I'm stepping from the darkness to the light. I'm wiping out the shattered, flooded crown. I'll burn until the midnight sky turns white. I'm wiping out the sympathetic frown. I'll never let my target out of sight. I'm wearing my defiance like a gown. I wipe the salty sweat away in vain and make a bitter promise I will keep. Adrenaline is pushing through my vein while all the cowards watch me and they weep. I snap the heavy iron of the chain and drag you to the water dark and deep. They label me a woman gone insane because I'm getting ready for the leap. I welcome all the terror and the pain. I haven't luxury of sleep. I'll wash the filthy gravel in the rain and make this final devastating sweep. Tell me I should forfeit every right and let the heavy pavement keep me down, but I will bring the thunder to the fight. You cannot strip my honor and renown. I'm stepping from the darkness to the light. I'm wiping out the shattered, flooded crown. I'll burn until the midnight sky turns white. I'm wiping out the sympathetic frown. I'll never let my target out of sight. I'm wearing my defiance like a gown. I'm taking it back, take it back. Bloody crown. Sweep, kick it down. such a heavy weight, searching for a bit of grace, accepting what I thought was fate, while hiding from my very face. Now I'm standing on the solid ground, solid ground. My breath is coming deep and slow, deep and slow. A truer sense of self is found, self is found. Watching all the heartache go. Used to hear a cruel voice echoing inside my head, leaving me without a choice, believing every word it said. I felt the pressure start to rise, deep within a heavy heart, seeing through the many lies that tore my world apart. Now I'm standing on the solid ground, solid ground. My breath is coming deep and slow, deep and slow. A truer sense of self is found, self is found. Watching all the heartache go. Storm has finally passed me by, passed me by. I see the sky is turning clear. I do not have a need to cry. I have realized I've conquered fear. Now I'm standing on the solid ground, solid ground. My breath is coming deep and slow, deep and slow. A truer sense of self is found, self is found. Watching all the heartache go. I'm rising up above the pain, walking through the open door. Stronger than I was before. I'm stronger now. Ooh. The autumn air inside this flat is cold. Your breathing falls so beautifully slow. I trace the heavy blankets that you hold. Are we a fading story growing old? It's something that I realize I must know. When both your eyes are shut, what do you find? Do I still have a purpose in that space? Or am I just a stranger in your mind? I fear that love has left us far behind, replacing every tender, warm embrace. You mutter something that I cannot hear, and suddenly the room goes very still. I wanna feel your spirit drawing near, and desperately I hope to guard what underneath lies a fear, a solitary, devastating chill. I never wanna play a distant part, but maybe you are wandering away. I listen to the beating of your heart, wish I knew the things you cannot say. I'm frightened we are going back to start, as color washes through the breaking day. I walked along the cobbled, quiet lane and lean against the broken iron wall. I stand and take the freezing of the rains fall, and watch the dead and rotting branches fall. There is a dull and ordinary pain in knowing that I cannot hear your call. The cricket pitch is just a muddy plain with weeds and thistles growing far too tall. I search for something solid to remain, but everything I loved is much too small. I hear the evening whistle of the train and realize that I've lost it once for all. Take a walk along the riverside to see the quiet changes in the town. There is no proper place for me to hide, since all the local pubs were taken down. The gravel paths are broken up and wide. The autumn leaves are turning dark and brown. I have no friendly face to be my guide, to watch another memory simply drown. The local history has lost its pride, and every passing stranger wears a frown. I let my heavy footsteps simply slide and walk away from what was once the crown. I think about the passing of the year and how the weather turns a heavy gray. The faces at the market disappear as all the painted brickwork fades away. I hold a very simple, quiet fear that nothing from my childhood can stay. The water in the stream is running clear. I count the heavy price I have to pay. I stand and wipe a stupid, angry tear because I have the afterwords to say the end and leave the cricket ground today. So I will leave the cricket ground today. The tide is coming in across the sand. The salt is heavy on the evening air. I hold is heavy on the evening air. I hold the silver lantern in my hand and search for traces that were never there. This lonely light is all I have to give to keep your face from drifting out to sea. It is the only way I choose to live within the space where you once walked with me. Where you walked with me. I still remember how you used to smile beneath the gray and heavy English sky. I hope that you might stay a little while. I hope that you might stay a little while, before the morning brings its cold reply. This lonely light is all I have to give to keep your face from drifting out to sea. It is the only way I choose to live within the space where you once walked with me. Where you walked with me. The waves are beating hard against the stone, a rhythm that is calling out your name. I never thought I'd be here all alone with nothing but a small and dying flame. Yeah, this lonely light is all I have to give to keep your face from drifting out to sea. Oh, it is the only way I choose to live within the space where you once walked with me. Across the water, I wait for you. Through the mist and the rain, the endless water, the endless water. I hold the silver locket in my hand and trace the faded picture of your face. The years have scattered us across the land, but time has never altered your embrace. I finally know exactly where I stand. I'm coming back to fill the hollow space. I'm coming back to see the open door. I cannot make it through another day. I never should have left you on the shore. I'm begging you to tell me I can stay. I wanna be the woman you adore. I promise I will never walk away. I wait upon the platform in the rain and look along the empty, narrow street. I know that I have caused a bitter pain, but I am longing for the day we meet. I'm getting on the early morning train to throw myself entirely at your feet. I'm coming back to see the open door. I cannot make it through another day. I never should have left you on the shore. I'm begging you to tell me I can stay. I wanna be the woman you adore. I promise I will never walk away. I built a towering fortress of my pride. I thought that I could conquer all my fears, but there is nowhere left for me to hide. I've suffered through a dozen empty years. I need you standing right here by my side to finally wipe away these falling tears. I'm coming back to see the open door. I promise I will never walk away. I pour the poison in your ear. You sit and panic on the throne. I feed you rumors you should fear and watch watch you turn it into stone. You keep my friendly counsel near, but you are sinking down alone. You feel the pressure on your crown. I keep the dagger in my hand. I break your reputation down. I draw the lines across the land. It is a sea where liars drown. I step right up to take command. You lock the doors against the cold and pace the marble in the night. You lose the power you would hold. You flinch at every flash of light. I watch my twisted plots unfold. You have no spirit left to fight. You feel the pressure on your crown. I keep the dagger in my hand. I break your reputation down. I draw the lines across the land. It is a sea where liars drown. I step right up to take command. I watch you hit the final wall. You drop your weapon to the ground. I wait in silence for the fall. I leave you shattered, tightly bound. I take the prize beyond recall and walk away without a sound. The big